Let's talk about why journaling in the morning is a really great idea. That was a little creepy, but for real, I think journaling in the morning is one of the best times to possibly journal. And that might not be the case for everybody, and if it's not for you, that's okay. Just hear me out for a little bit. So there's this idea of this thing, and there's actually a journaling process called morning pages. And if you subscribe to the true definition of it, it talks about just this stream of consciousness, just flow writing for about 3 pages or so. Now, I don't fully subscribe to that, and here's a couple reasons why. If we're talking about 3 pages, and maybe it says this and I've just overlooked it, but are we talking about 3 pages in a pocket notebook? Are we talking about 3 pages in, this size notebook? I don't know the answer to that question. But I also don't think you should ever force yourself to do something that you don't want to do. This is a tool that is supposed to serve you, and if you are trying to journal just for the sake of doing it, that's not going to work. That's why I'm going to tell you right now. If you're not a morning person and you don't want to do these morning pages, don't do it. Try it. I mean, give it at least one try. But here's why it works best for me, because when I wake up in the mornings, I have a flow of thoughts that are coming out. Everything that I need to do for the day, everything that I didn't get done the day before, what I'm going to have for dinner that night. I mean, my mind is running like very rapidly in the mornings. So I feel like that's a great time for me, at least, to sit down and write about those thoughts. And my thoughts might start talking about, here's what I felt last night, or here's what I felt this morning. I don't really force anything or guide myself in any way. I just start writing whatever's on my mind, and then I write until I just don't feel like writing anymore. But what this does for me is it helps get all this cluttered mess out of my brain, and it gets it onto a piece of paper so that I can start my day with a clean slate. I can think very clearly about what it is that I need to do and what I want to do without having all this other jumbled up mess. And sometimes in my morning pages, I'll pull things out of that, things that I want to remember. And I can transpose that over to my bullet journal. I can write it in other note areas and separate it out, or I can just highlight it. That's an easy thing that I like to do in my journal, is if there's something that I definitely want to reference later and it's just not a bunch of just gibberish, I will highlight it or use like one of those page markers, like one of these things right here. I love Post-its. That is a wonderful company, but it doesn't just stop there. Once I get all my thoughts out, especially if this is a work day, I will set myself up. I will go through all the tasks that I have in my digital task calendar, and I'll hand write all those down onto a piece of paper, because it's much easier for me to reference that sheet of paper laying on my desk than it is trying to figure out which tab that I have my task manager in while I'm on a client call or working on a video project. I'm not having to jump around the digital universe. I can just look at my piece of paper and be like, oh, here's what's next on the list. Got it. And then I can mark those things off as we go. I also write when I have calls or meetings coming up for the day, so I know when those break periods need to happen without having to go, again, find the tab where my calendar is and pull that up for that information. I just really believe that if you start journaling at the start of your day, it's the same as eating breakfast or drinking water, brushing your teeth. Make it a part of your routine, and you don't have to spend a lot of time. I maybe spend 5 to 10 minutes doing this. It doesn't take me long at all. Now, that's not to say that there are other days that I spend a lot more time. If I need to write 3 or 4 pages in my little notebook, I'm going to do that. But if I only need to write like a paragraph or a sentence, or really sometimes there might not be anything I need to write in that given moment, then I either do or don't do that accordingly. But the important thing to remember here is make journaling your own. Create your own methods that work best for you. What works for me might not work for you. Maybe it's better for you to do this at nighttime, and you can decompress and get all those thoughts out on the paper before you go to sleep. But the point is, make journaling something for you. If journaling is not serving you, either A, you're not doing it right, or B, it doesn't work. And journaling does work, so you're probably just not doing it in the way that works best for you. It took me like 10 years to figure out that method. I hope it doesn't last that long for you, but really the only advice I needed was permission to get out of the box and do something that worked for me. But wherever you are in your journey right now, I wish you the best. And as always, be sure to create something new today.